In this video, we're going to briefly take a look at what views are again. We covered this in earlier videos, introduction videos, but this is just a refresher as we get into this next set of videos talking about views. In our model view controller paradigm, remember that we have three primary objects that we're dealing with. We have a model, we have a view, and we have a controller. It's all Ruby code in a Rails application. The controller is kind of the nerve center for our applications, directing things between the model and our view. What our view is the actual implementation of our application that the user sees. This is what gets generated back to our web browser, is this particular bit of code. As such, a view isn't just HTML in the case of Rails. It can be JavaScript, it can be a .js file, it can be XML, or it could even be something as simple as text going back. So you can do a multitude of things going back to your browser or a web service or any type of those applications on the web, even a particular mobile phone that's expecting a format of a certain information. So our view is what the user sees and interacts with on the screen, and the controller is what actually manipulates the view and sets it up for us and takes the information coming back from the view and decides what to do next. As such, the view, you got to be careful with, because you'll be tempted to put a lot of code into your view, and you don't want to put that much code into there, especially business logic, because when it's in a view, it's in that view only. It's not accessible from the rest of your application. Whereas if you put things inside of your controller, or better yet, inside of your model, the code there is accessible from your entire application. So it makes maintenance much easier. It makes your programming much easier because you have access to code that you've written, so you can stick closer to the principles of dry, don't repeat yourself. The view code that you have and you use should be limited to just modifying what that is actually going to look like. Colors, or if you have to do lists, those types of things, and manipulate those lists. You shouldn't actually be doing full-on coding inside of your views. In the next set of videos, we're going to take a look in depth at each of the different areas of Ruby on Rails views, specifically with the RHTML files, our helpers, and other advanced things such as pagination, layouts, etc.